Okay, so this is just a quick bench talk and show the final assembly. I've done two test runs and got it up to about 53 mile an hour or so, and the car does not want to stay straight, as you can see from the battle scars there. We ate some curbs, and I also had an issue, signal issue. I think it was where I was running the car. Um, I have to run the servo reversed because of the way the chassis is set up. So when I would get to a certain spot, I'd turn left, and the car would just veer right into a curb. So some of it was not my fault, but the last bad crash that I had testing, I was kind of pushing it too hard, and just sideswiped the curb and spit this drive cup and dog bone out, but it just popped right back in. It's no permanent damage, but yeah, I just the main thing is this car does not want to track straight above 40 mile an hour or so, and the main issue pretty sure I solved it. I mean, there's still a tiny bit of wobble there, but I have the pin spring little bits stuck in between the drive cups and the dog bones there, and that seems to fix the issue front and rear. I mean, it's nice and tight, and I rolled it, on the ground to make sure there's no binding, no added friction, because I had a set of washers that I was grinding down, and actually, I forget the name of the guy's channel, but it was just the right time. I'm sitting there sanding the things down, and he's told me about the pin trick for the play in this thing here. So I'm like, well, I can maybe do that. It's the same thing. So yeah, that worked. But this here, I'm not really concerned about too much, because I mean, once it's engaged and turning, it's not gonna really move back and forth too much. I may shim it in the future, because I still I'm gonna get a diff locker for the front. Not, I still have to put a tighter fluid, heavier fluid in the back, and I saw a diff locker set up for the front, so I'm gonna grab that tomorrow and put that in there. But right now I'm running 20k in the front and 10k in the back, and it's too loose. The rear is just too loose. It just, at higher speed, it just does not want to stay straight. I don't know any other way to put it. Um, I still have some other parts on order. As you can see, I'm running the stock steering arms. I ran into an issue with that putting these in. Tip for new builders: if you're building one of these chassis and if you go straight to the adjustable uh, steering setup and you go to put the balls in the ends in the steering arms there, they're going to be really tight. I got one to fit okay, but the other one was so tight it broke off, it snapped off, and it was a I didn't think I was actually going to be able to get it out, but I saved the piece here. You can kind of see here. I used my Dremel and cut a channel down there, and I was actually able to unscrew it with a flathead. It's not really focusing. You saw it, you were able to see it earlier, but yeah, there's the other piece. Just snapped right off as I was tightening it up. But I was able to use one of the arms to connect my servo, because the first test run I used one of the regular screws that comes with the kit, and it backed out of here within within 3 minutes. I had no steering, so this is a much better setup. But this arm is a little too short. So the other parts I have on order is the aluminum arms for this, which comes with the longer arm that's for this. Adjustable motor mount and ball bearings. I'm still running the bushings, but I'm not trying to. Well, I mean, maybe if it'll it'll hit 100. I'm mainly trying to get the car to drive straight first, but it should be okay with just the bushings on it now. Plus, they're well greased. And since I put this drive cups in, I actually added some firearm grease, some CLP, in between there to kind of help lubrication. And I actually added a little drop in the back of the brushless motor here, because I know it's. I mean, you don't need to do much maintenance with brushless, but that's keeping it oiled up can definitely help, because I've noticed some little oil stains after running this motor a few times, and it's been beat on and thrown around pretty good. And I gotta say, these King Val motors, I think it's the rebranded Surpass Hobby motor and ESC combo. It's taking a beating. I mean, You can see it's kind of bare, you know, got the exposed board and everything, but this is an on-road car. I'm trying not to get it wet, not to get it dirty, which, again, what was the first test run? Oh my, no, second test run. This thing, I mean, it went for puddles. Like there's water in the side channels in the road, and it just was steering for right into the water. I'm like, oh my god, no. But yeah, body's cleaned up. You know, I cleaned out the chassis, cleaned all the crap out of there. But yeah, finding this speed running thing is not so easy, especially with this chassis. And finding a good spot, a good, nice, clean, long patch of pavement is tough. I thought I found that that second time, and yeah, the road has a crown to it. A lot of the roads here in Florida have a crown to them because we get a lot of rainwater, so it's kind of tricky to fight the crown or to tune your steering to counteract the crown of the road. Um, but yeah, I also have the a replacement set of steering arms that I'm going to play with the toe in and toe out on this thing because I'm hearing mixed things. And another thing about that, in my experience on real cars, I'm seeing for speed running, I'm gonna leave the rear uprights the 2.5 degrees in, but the fronts, I'll just say in the real world on sports cars especially because their steering and suspension is more sensitive. Uh, it's more direct, I guess you could say. I would tune those cars to 0 and toe in maybe a quarter or a half degree. Toe in front, and the car. I mean, you could get it on the highway and take your hands off the wheel, and the car drives straight as an arrow. The saying "straight as an arrow" is not true, but it would drive straight. But I'm seeing the speedrunners are saying to run slightly toe out, which you can kind of see it's like that stock. So that's another thing. I have some test run. I want to take it out today. I've got to go to work in a couple hours, but I'm probably gonna wait till later tonight, till there's less people on the road, and it's easier to find a patch of road to stretch it out on. So, or I might just take it to a big parking lot and just see how it handles. That's the main thing. I'm not gonna push it into any curbs or try to do any more damage. So, all right, thanks for watching, and yeah, good luck with your builds out there.